Welcome to the Explainer. So let's talk about a question we all have to answer every single day. What's for dinner? Today, we're going to trace the journey of the food on your plate, and our guide for this is Michael Pollan's incredible book, The Omnivore's Dilemma. I mean, picture this. You walk into a supermarket, right? And you're just hit with this wall of choices, tens of thousands of them. Pollan says this is our modern dilemma. We're drowning in options, but at the same time, we're kind of clueless about what we're really putting in our bodies. Think about it. A koala has it easy. It just eats eucalyptus leaves. But us, we're omnivores. We can eat pretty much anything. And while that sounds great, it also creates this deep-seated anxiety. How do we know what's good for us? What's safe? What's the right thing to eat? And that anxiety, believe it or not, has shaped everything from our cultures to these massive hidden food systems we're about to uncover. Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, Pollan followed our food all the way back to its source. And he found that most of it comes from one of three main food chains. We've got the industrial corn chain, the pastoral grass chain, then there are the complications with organic. After that, the personal forest chain, and finally, what it all means, the story on your plate. So let's dive in. All right, first up, the industrial food chain. This is where, let's be honest, most of our food comes from. And to really get a handle on it, Pollan started his journey with a simple McDonald's meal. But what he found was anything but simple. It was this incredibly complex web, and weirdly enough, it all seemed to revolve around just one plant. So he's looking at his son's chicken McNuggets and realizes, wait a minute, this isn't just chicken. It's more like a masterpiece of food engineering. A federal judge even called it a McFrankensteinian creation, which just perfectly sums up how bizarre it all is. So what in the world is actually in a McNugget? Okay, buckle up. Here are just a few of the ingredients he found. First, you've got dimethyl polysiloxane. That's an anti-foaming agent. You'll also find it in silly putty. No joke. Then there are things like sodium aluminum phosphate, a leavening agent. And get this, tertiary butyl hydroquinone, or TBHQ. It's a preservative that comes from petroleum. And yeah, swallowing just 5 grams of it can actually be fatal. So when you add it all up, at least back when he did the research, you get a whopping 38 different ingredients. 38 in one little chicken McNugget. It's crazy complex. But here's the kicker. Underneath all that science, there's one single ingredient that's holding the entire system together. What is it? The answer is corn. Yep, corn. When scientists actually analyzed the meal, they found that almost all the calories came from corn in some form. The meat? Corn-fed. The soda? Sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. The sauces? Thickened with modified cornstarch. The nuggets themselves? Fried in corn oil. It's everywhere. Corn is literally the invisible backbone of the entire industrial food system. And if you follow that river of corn, you end up in places like this, an industrial feedlot. We're talking about a city of cattle. These animals, they're meant to eat grass, right? But here, they're forced onto a diet of super cheap corn to get them fat as fast as possible. And look, it's an incredibly efficient way to make meat, no doubt about it. But it comes with some serious hidden costs for the animals, for the planet, and ultimately for us. So that's the industrial system. But are there other ways? I mean, is there a system that works with nature instead of just trying to conquer it? Well, to answer that, Pollan went looking for a totally different kind of food chain. And this one isn't built on corn, it's built on grass. And he found what he was looking for at a place called Polyface Farm in Virginia. The farmer there, Joel Salatin, he doesn't see his farm as a factory, not at all. He sees himself as a conductor of an orchestra, a complex, natural ecosystem. And the whole thing is built around one beautiful, simple idea, a healthy, green pasture. So here's where it gets really cool. The whole farm is basically a closed-loop system. The animals do all the work. So the cows, they graze in a pasture, and then they get moved. A few days later, chickens in these portable coops, they call them eggmobiles, are brought to that exact same spot. The chickens then go to town eating the fly larvae out of the cow manure, which naturally fertilizes and sanitizes the field. And they're laying eggs the whole time. It's like a brilliant natural symphony. So when you put these two systems side by side, you see they're based on completely different ways of thinking. The industrial model, it's a straight line. You put inputs in one end, chemicals, corn, and you get a product out the other. The goal is just maximum yield. But the pastoral system is a circle. It's all about the health of the whole system, from the dirt on the ground to the animals, and yeah, to us, the people eating the food.
Okay, so the solution seems pretty obvious then, right? Just buy organic. Problem solved. Well, not so fast. As Pollan dug into it, he found that the word organic has gotten complicated. It's basically split into two completely different things.
On one side, you've got the original idea of organic. Small farms, working with nature, healthy soil. But then there's big organic, or what Pollan calls industrial organic, and these are huge, factory-scale operations. They follow the rules, sure, but they often miss the whole point. For example, an organic chicken might be crammed into a shed with 20,000 other birds, with a tiny little door that opens to a small patch of dirt just so they can legally say it has access to pasture.
And this leads to one of the biggest ironies of big organic, its energy cost. Get your head around this. A 1-pound box of that pre-washed organic lettuce from California. The lettuce itself has about 80 calories of food energy. But to get it all the way to a store on the East Coast, you're talking about growing, washing, packing, shipping. All of that burns over 4,600 calories of fossil fuel energy. That's an insane ratio. It just goes to show how big organic can end up being part of the very problem it was supposed to fix.
So, if the industrial system is a complex machine, and even big organic has its issues, what's the simplest, most direct way to eat? For his last stop, Pollan explored the final food chain, the personal one. You could also call it the hunter-gatherer chain. This is how we all used to eat, our original meal plan.
What's this all about? It's about making the distance between you and your food basically zero. We're talking about hunting, foraging for wild mushrooms, growing vegetables in your own garden. When you get your food this way, you are 100% responsible for every single ingredient on your plate. You're forced to confront what a meal really truly means.
Okay, so we've been on quite a journey, haven't we? From a McDonald's drive-thru to a green pasture in Virginia, all the way to the forests of California. So after all that, what's the big takeaway? What is the actual story that's sitting on our plate every night?
If there's one thing Pollan's journey shows us, it's this. Every single thing we eat has a story behind it, a history. And that history connects us back to the earth, to the sun, to other living things. The industrial food system is, in a way, a genius machine, but it's a machine designed to make us forget those stories. It wants us to see food as just another product on a shelf. But once you know the story, whether it's a story about corn or grass or forest, it completely changes how you see your food. So in the end, the omnivore's dilemma isn't really about finding the one, single, perfect diet for everyone. It's not that simple. It's about becoming more aware, more conscious of the stories behind what you eat. It's about understanding that your choices really do matter. And it all starts by just asking one simple, powerful question about your next meal. What is its story?